Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for our deciding game number 5. There we go. We've been wrapped out or broken out of our packaging, Lumi.
Okay.
We're ready. We're back in the studio. It's Alliance versus Navi, your grand finals decider match. It's going the distance. I still personally I expect more out of these teams in terms of individual play, back and forth epic games. So far, to me, the winner bracket finals was the better series, even though it was 2-0.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, we do have on the line Bulba as well as K-Pop Tosis. So, guys, I believe you already have something prepared, and we're just going to sit here and look important while you talk about real stuff.
One thing I wanted to point out about these matches is that so far that the team that's gotten Radiant has been undefeated so far. They're 4-0. And Bulba, do you think that's relevant, or just because we've only seen 4 games so far this match?
And Bulba, I'm gonna let you finish, but I saw it coming in game 1. Just saying.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
Wait, what did he see?
He's taking credit because he's saying like he invented Radiant, this theory that Radiant's better.
Yeah,
The Radiant is better, dude. I agree with Luminous.
Okay,
There you go.
but do you
Why do
agree
you-
that
why-
he invented it? That's the question.
This freaking Radiant offlane is like so broken right now.
It is.
Like you go offlane as Radiant, and there's a river right next to you, and like the creep is all the way up there. Dire offlane is like I feel it's still hard. Like Dire offlane is a lot harder. And you saw the last game. If Bulldog was Radiant offlane,
5 seconds.
just that lane, he would have gotten a lot more. But I don't know what happened in the lane exactly, but couldn't get shit versus that. And it's probably because Dire offlane is a lot harder. Because Radiant offlane, it's a lot easier to see if the support's coming. And then it's also you can pull the side camp, and with Dire offlane's a lot harder. And I think that's one of the reasons it's quite big. And both teams weren't really like abusing Roshan or anything, so the Dire advantage obviously didn't come to.
That's a good point. What did you think about the Admiral Bulldog Timbersaw pickup? Because he'd only play it once before, and the only time he did before, they lost to Team Infernity back in June.
10
So he hasn't
seconds
exactly
remaining.
had a lot of experience with the hero.
I actually asked S4
5
before,
seconds remaining.
why don't we ever see Bulldog play Timber, and then
Mhm.
he says that Bulldog, I mean, they just always get the other
Reserve
heroes,
time.
so they never see a need to pick Timber. But he said Bulldog is confident in his Timber Saw.
Okay.
But that's a game to cost some confidence to go down. But honestly, it was a hard lane to go versus Visage Gyro.
It really was.
I didn't really see how the lane worked. I think if Visage and Gyro just stay in the lane and try to screw with him, the Rocket Barrage does a lot of damage.
Mhm.
But I saw Kuroki like pulling a lot as well, and then Bulldog actually had a ward on the side, if you didn't see that. So he had
Right.
like full vision if Curl comes. So
Right.
and I think he was playing the lane a bit too passive. Like you can play up a little bit more and you can tank some hits and stuff. You can make the lane like if you go up and tank the wave, if you go up and tank right clicks and stuff, it'll obviously push the lane, right? But if you're not actually trying to do any of that, what's the really the point? You're just going to be sitting there while the other guy's farming. So
Gotcha.
I don't think it was his real fault of how he played the lane per se. And I do think that the team is less experienced with him not having like a lot of farm as the offlaner.
Alliances.
Okay,
turn to
so
battle.
we're now going into our deciding game 5. For each team, I guess, very quickly, like keys to the game, and who do you think's gonna win from each of you guys?
I also have a quick question for Bulba, but I guess
Okay.
I could ask after this.
Yeah, do it quickly then.
Okay, so
Chop chop.
Clockwork
10
has been
seconds
winning
remaining.
4-0 as well. They're on
That's
the
a good
Radiant
point.
side. Clockwork's a
Navi's
pretty good
turn
hero,
to
Bulba. You know a
ban.
lot about it. Any thoughts on that hero and how it matches up for these two teams?
I definitely think Clock will it suits Navi's playstyle a bit better, I think. Even though both teams have did Bulldog win the first game with Clock? I didn't
The
see.
second game he won with
10
Clock.
Okay.
seconds remaining.
No,
I
no,
think
that was
both-
Funix Clock.
Yeah, first game they won with Clock.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Alliance.
5
I think it
seconds
just suits. I
remaining.
mean, it's very strong, and obviously Radiant Clock offlane is I think a lot stronger than Dire.
Reserve
Even though
time.
you can do that abuse on Dire, where you can send the creeps into that little pocket.
Alliances.
The Radiant
turn
offlane
to
is just so
ban.
much easier for Clock because you should never die as Radiant Clock offlane. I think. Like Funny didn't die. I mean, he died because he was versus like a Queen of Pain and Earthshaker, but versus like most tri-lanes and stuff, I don't think you should really die.
Yeah, and even
And-
though he died, he got a ton of experience out of that
10
lane. He was like a
seconds
full level
remaining.
ahead of Bulldog.
And I think another reason that Clock is so strong right now is because
5 seconds
people
remaining.
realize that you shouldn't level up Rocket. You should just go with that battery assault skill, and then now
Reserve
like
time.
you get the level so fast that like you can't ever do things by yourself when you're versus a Clockwork because you're afraid of like the hook coming in and then getting hogged and Rocket. Like it just makes the other team play passive. Because if you notice that past game, as soon as Funny got level 6, he went missing off the map, and then Alliance just played really passive in the lanes. Like S4 didn't go back top. He was just staying in the kind of the woods. And then the Lich and the Luna is obviously going to be the main target, so they didn't even go up at all. and Kuroki
Right.
just farmed the lane. So I think just Clockwork in the fog is very strong right now as well.
Okay, definitely agree with you there. So, real quickly, predictions on the match, and if there's any particular like key point you want to make about how what these teams need to do, do it now because the draft is getting underway here.
Navi's turn to pick.
I'll say that since we have the Lone Druid pickup already up, I'm going to cheat a little bit and say that if Navi can't hinder Bulldog's farm, they're going to have a really hard time. If he gets another 16-minute Radiance and they just decide to fight mid-game with a Gyrocopter and a Venomancer, it's going to snowball out of control for Alliance. So the big thing for Navi is going to be suppressing Bulldog, I think, this match.
Okay, thanks, Brian. And Boba, I am really interested to hear
10
your
seconds
closing thoughts
remaining.
here. Anything that you should keep an eye on for either of these teams?
5 seconds remaining.
Whoever gets, if Navi gets Clockwork again, and if any of the teams get Venomancer,
Reserve
and if
time.
Bulldog gets one of his heroes.
Okay,
All
well,
of that is
all of that
happening.
has happened. Navi
Yeah.
got the
All of that has
Clockwork, but Alliance get the Veno and the Lone Druid.
Right.
And with that being said, it's time to get into the draft, guys. Bulba as well as K-Pop-Tosis, thank you so much for joining us. If you're still around, maybe you can join us for the post-game breakdown after Game 5.
If there is anything.
If there's a game worth breaking down. But for now, we are going to jump ourselves inside the cast. So thanks again for joining us, guys. We appreciate your insight.
Thanks for having us.
Okay. And on that note, Lumi, Game 5 draft is well underway. It started with the first pick, Clockwork. The reply from Alliance was Veno and Lone Druid.
Alliance's turn to
Then the
pick.
Chen came out from Navi, and now we actually see Navi going for a Night Stalker.
Who was playing this? Dendi?
I guess so. It could be a Havos Night Stalker. Maybe they pick Dendi, like more of the damage dealer mid. I wonder who that would be, though, because normally his solo mid semi-carries are either Queen of Pain or Templar Assassin and or Storm, but Storm's banned, and TA does not do well against
10
Veno, does not
seconds
do well
remaining.
against Lone Druid, especially not with Radiance or Gyro, so I don't think you can go TA
5
here. I feel
seconds
Queen of Pain is
remaining.
just going to be kind of underwhelming. But maybe it is a Dendi Night Stalker instead.
Maybe. I think what
Reserve
Navi needs to
time.
do for the fourth and fifth pick is pick up nothing but damage. Because the way that it seems like Alliance is going to win team fight is going to outlast you. They have Poison Nova, they have Radiance Lone Druid eventually, Gyrocopter with Flat Cannon Call Down, that they're going to just whittle you down no matter where you are in the team fight. Chen's a good way to kind of tie you over for most part, but either you pick up tanky items and try to outlast Alliance, which I don't think is a good way to go about it, or you're trying to kill them quickly before they kill you. So Night Stalker, a very, very tanky and a high damage dealer, a single target output. I think this is a good way to start. You go with two kind of high bursty heroes and try to win the fight before they kill you.
Yeah, but make no mistake about it, the pressure is on
Enchantress.
Navi here. They need to be the ones getting those early kills,
Navi's
creating pressure.
turn to pick.
If they're not shutting down the Lone Druid by like the 10-minute mark, I think we're going to see a repeat of game, I believe it was game number 3,
Yeah.
where he had just had that easy, like, even it was an 8-minute Midas. It was delayed slightly, but it was still a Midas, and then Radiance came out on 16, 17 minutes. Alliance go back for an Enchantress here. So just getting this amazing pushing composition. It's hard to fight into these heroes as well. Sure, you try and tower dive, you can eat a Gale, you
10
maybe get
seconds
rooted.
remaining.
Okay.
Call down comes, but Navi, I mentioned Medusa as a
Alliance's
possibility
turn
for
to
them in
bend.
game 1, I think it was, or no, I think it was actually in game 3 when they went for that big team fight lineup. They opt to skip it then, but they'll go back for it now, so they get themselves a huge potential for damage output in this game, but it's a little bit awkward
10
with a
seconds
Clockwork Night
remaining.
Stalker. If your goal is just to face rush and find tons of kills,
5
well,
seconds
Dusa's just going to
remaining.
be sitting back and farming that time. She's okay in team fights, but she doesn't really excel at those early engagements.
Yeah, I think
Reserve
Navi's kind of trying to
time.
go both ways here
10
by taking up
seconds
people that
remaining.
could deal damage in an AoE or just deal damage overall and then just tank. So no matter what stage of the game they
Navi's
are at,
turn to
they
ban.
have multiple avenues to take fights. And then, as Boba also talked
Alliance's
about
turn
earlier,
to
Venomancer does a ton of damage in a team fight, whether it's through a poison sting from the Plague Wards or through his ultimate. You just need to make sure that you have very, very tanky hero. The big downfall with Medusa, in my opinion, is that she doesn't work well with BKB, or she doesn't actually get BKB. So you know the Venomancer Poison Nova is always going to be good on her. And for her, you're not only dealing her with her HP, you're also draining her mana because of Spell Shield. So
10
this is a
seconds
fairly
remaining.
interesting pick. I'm also not sure, like, if Stone Gaze is
5
picked just for the
seconds
stun, or whether
remaining.
you're thinking about the physical damage component. I'm not sure why
Navi's
Medusa is
turn to
really
pick.
the question here.
We'll have to wait to find the answer to that. They could have even gone for this guy, the Dragon Knight, and put the Night Stalker as their safe lane farmer, but they go for the Dusa instead, so it looks to be a Dendi Night Stalker mid. Haven't seen too many Dendi Night Stalker games that I can recall. I know he's played it before, but not a common Dendi hero. And I think the main issue there is the hero doesn't farm well. So Dendi, sort of like a Mushi,
10 seconds
not I think
remaining.
not quite as much, but he still likes to get on his mid game farm and remain relevant as you head
seconds
towards the late game.
remaining.
With Night Stalker, it's possible to farm, but it's just a bigger time investment because you don't have that AoE.
Reserve
I also
time.
feel that Night Stalker, as I mentioned previously, is a very single dimension hero. For Dendi, he plays high skill intensive hero like your Pudge or Invoker that can make plays out of the skill
10
set. Night Stalker,
seconds
he just
remaining.
runs in, slows, silences, and right click. That's, I mean, to be
5
frank here, I think
seconds
Dendi could
remaining.
do a lot better with his skill set.
All right, well, Na'Vi are going to round it out with the Shadow Shaman. So now they've got themselves a bit more punch to this pushing lineup. Not that it's all about the push, but it gives them access to some early to mid game towers. Now when your Night Stalker and your Clockwork get kills, you back that up with the Serpent Wards, you back that up with Chen creeps. At the same time, though, Alliance are running a lineup that really scales hard into the late
They're
game.
so tanky. Like a Gyro with BKB, a DK with a BKB, and then Lone Druid. How are you gonna kill everybody? I just don't think Na'Vi could kill these guys.
Prepare
We'll have
for
to wait and
battle.
see if that's the case. S4 looking pretty decked out on his Dragon Knight. Guys, it's time for our final game of the day and our final game of the WePlay Season 2. Big shout out to all our sponsors. Thanks to them for their support throughout the event. Western Digital, NO3D, as well as, most importantly, the title sponsor, Logitech. Without them, WePlay would not be possible. These games would not be possible. If you enjoy the tournament, be sure to show WePlay their some support. You can follow them on Twitter and Facebook /WePlayDota2. And I hope you guys have been enjoying our English coverage of the event. WePlay still working on their plans for future seasons, but this one's been successful. We hope to see more from them in the future. So with all that out of the way, we can introduce our teams now. Alliance in Game 5. They jumped out to a 2-1 lead, but now they'll be looking for that final win. Loda on the Gyro. Bulldog going to be handling your Lone Druid. No
30
surprises there.
seconds to
Scouting
battle.
with the Bear. We see S4 on the Dragon Knight and EGM on the Venomancer.
Meanwhile, here for Na'Vi, again, this is another best of 5
Oh, and
series.
Ake on the Enchantress. Sorry. Missed
That
one.
hopefully they will take this one because so far they're losing in terms of the matchup straight up against Alliance. It's gonna be Kuroki playing a support hero that we haven't seen for too long. It's gonna be Shadow Shaman, Havos on that carry Medusa, Puppy on his Chen once again had a big game 3. Meanwhile, we have Dendi on the Night
The
Stalker, and
battle
last but not least,
begins.
or game 4, excuse me, when Puppy's Chen just block everything, right? The beams and everything else. And then Funnick once again on that Clockwork. Clockwork is a big hero in this series, and looks like he's gonna get a safe lane here on the top.
They've got a haste rune up on Loda,
they
and
gonna
they've got an
dive?
aggressive tri-lane here. They're going to pull the wave out. I don't really think they'll be able to dive behind the tower, but they may keep Puppy bottled in for a bit as the wave comes back. Ake waiting for that 30-second spawn. He'll be the one to get his first creep, as long as he doesn't body block it. And, well, he'll get a Centaur here. So Chen with no creeps, and not going to find
Well,
anything worth getting.
You could take Enchantress as creeps
That's
very
true.
easily. There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And Enchantress on cooldown. So meanwhile, EGM's coming in, but there's it's trying to dodge that call. Can he? EGM's like juking left and right. There's a Gale. That should be enough. But the Centaur is coming on the other side. If he gets a stomp, it's okay. He's actually taking right clicks. I think EGM's gonna go give up first blood here.
Run EGM. He's got a tango through. He might need to salve up as well, but the Centaur cancels
Oh,
it.
no, the
and
cogs.
now he's boxed in.
Well,
now
but the
he's
Centaur gets
toast.
boxed in as well. Can they actually kill him in that
No,
5 seconds?
he's dead.
All right, first blood.
And he gives up a salve, too. Big win for Na'Vi. Very unexpected win as well. They were really banking on just having that Enchantress creep and winning the tri-lane,
Yeah.
but Puppy just turned around and stole it, and then suddenly Veno was in no man's land.
Actually, generally in the Enchantress Chen War, the first one to grab a creep is actually the first one to lose that creep, because early game in cooldown, you can't just steal it right back when they, Grand
Yeah.
Theft Auto your Centaur.
I mean, the weird thing is that normally in this matchup, both players get their own creep, so there's always two floating around,
Right.
but not the case here. Unless Chen takes over Enchantress.
Looks like Chen has stolen a Satyr creep, send it mid, and looks like he's looking at Mana Burn against the Dragon Knight, which is actually fairly annoying, because, he's going to Flame Breath, but you're going to basically take away one Flame Breath by...
He does have his bottle now, already going to start bottle crowing, and you'll notice leaves one charge in it, so it gets back to base quicker. Unless you need all 3 charges, you might as well leave one. It's just a little bit more efficient. So
Yeah.
the small touches here from S4, but our other lane is going to be the Bulldog safe lane Lone Druid, and off the bat, actually, it's Havost winning this matchup. I doubt that will stay the case once the Bear hits level 5, but they've decided to offlane their Deuce anticipating this aggressive tri-lane, and so far, it's working out.
I mean, to be fair, Kuroki is helping out as well. They might as well shackle. Yeah, they're actually going to shackle the Bear, and they might even get a kill at the shock. Yeah, that's 300 gold going towards Kuroki, that's quick boots. This lane cannot go any worse here for the Lone Druid, aside from him dying right now.
He does resummon the bear, and he does have his boots up on his hero, so it's not all bad. But yeah, you look at what Na'Vi are getting bottom, it's a lot. It's free farm on Dusa, it's shutting down the Lone Druid a bit, and it's getting the bear kill. And you look at what Alliance are getting, and what has this tri-lane actually done? They gave up first blood. They now rotate the Veno bottom. And the one other lane to look at is the middle lane, which is basically a wash. So Na'Vi winning 2 out of 3 lanes here convincingly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure whether you agree with this point as we see Illusion around the middle lane. Gale gonna go off though. Dendi in really big trouble. The courier is really close as well. He has a couple points of bottle. The courier coming back in, trying to bait perhaps. He's gonna go down Dendi. Maybe the boots was being delivered, but the boots did not help out enough there.
The Weasel lives a charmed life, I gotta say.
Yeah. But you were talking about 2 lanes being won out of 3. I guess S4 is, perhaps angling back to win the mid lane. I almost feel like Na'Vi have to win these lanes to have a chance in this game, because I feel like Alliance's draft is just more explosive during the mid to late game. They are so tanky, and I just don't think Na'Vi have the damage output to deal with it.
Yeah, until Dusa gets huge, but it
That's
takes
really
so
far
long
off,
for
yeah.
Dusa to get huge. And that's where matching up as a Dusa against the Lone Druid, I think, is a tough one. But if she gets kills like this, ain't so tough. Fine. EGM can shackle Bulldog. This is going to be a 2-hero kill, most likely. This is just a ridiculously good start. Medusa, Shadow Shaman, off-lane, dual lane, just
New meta.
crushing Veno Lone Druid.
I have to also mention that Lone Druid Alobear for 80 seconds.
Okay,
He
now,
is done in the lane.
as amazing as Na'Vi have been playing this, Alliance are not really... The way that they're attacking is just very awkward. They're running in without creep support, Veno in the front lines, and just underestimating the damage output of some of these Na'Vi heroes. Plus, Kuroki was already level 3, and Havost, I think, was level 4 when that fight started, whereas you have a level 2 Venomancer. So, as much as it looks like Na'Vi's heroes are just stronger, a lot of it comes down to level advantage, and it also just comes down to not having the best approach or angle of attack for that engagement.
Yeah. Also, Dendi now with the haste rune on the line mid lane. It's nighttime, but looks like a big dive is going to happen on the top lane. The TP's going to come in from a Night Stalker. He has a haste rune. Everybody is about to die. Aki's going to drop instantly. We do have Clockwork going down, but looks like Dendi wants a little bit more. He runs out of the range.
Just kidding.
Yeah, he's coming back in, though. He's going to tank go back up. Does have 1 charge on the Magic Stick. Thinking about going for Bulldog, just tankling left and right. Oh, looks like Loda has a Rocket Barrage being used. Ether Shot, Shackle. Then he's taking a ton of damage, but again, that's fine. He's back to the mid lane with a salve as well now.
This is like the exact start that Na'Vi needed. They had to have this explosive start. I don't think they expected it to be this explosive, but it is. 5-2, the kill score. They're leading there. The one hero that is struggling a bit is Funnick on that Clockwork, but he'll be catching up, and Havost is already level 6 with phase boots. I think nobody can really lane against Havost 1v1 that effectively right now. He's got better range than all these heroes. They need to put some pressure on him, but they're busy trying to deal with the other lanes and stem the bleeding. They will go on Funnick middle lane. Flat Cannon splashing through. They need 1 more right click to bring him down, and they won't get it. It's too fast.
Okay.
No, they'll get it. No.
Aki's going to come around.
Big investment to get that kill, though.
Yeah. That was a long chase.
I felt like the Benny Hill music would have been appropriate there.
Also,
That-
S4 dropped his tank on the river because he knew it was couriers coming, so he could he could get the bottle and maybe flame breath for the kill. But in the jungle here, Loda is gonna get caught here by Dendi this time. Void on cooldown still. Looks like Aki's gonna tank one for the team
S4
for
didn't
now.
want to show himself. He's trying to sneak up, but he knew he didn't have his
ultimate.
I think they can turn this and fight
No,
if they want.
they gotta run. There's 4 here in the jungle, so
Oh yeah, the backup coming now
yeah.
from Loda as well as Ake, and they will retreat out, but
Funnick's here though, so maybe Funnick's only level 3. That's the one thing that we haven't touched on. Navi doing well, but experience-wise, EGM gonna get slowed down here as Rocket giving me sight. What a block!
nice ward.
But Havos with a 1 range attack is gonna get the last hit there.
Everything going Navi's way, leading 6-3 and just getting to play their tempo. I mean, even if it was an even score, I think they'd still be happy with this. And already you see a level 6 Shadow Shaman and a level 4 Chen. Kuroki being level 6 in an offensive duel lane is just disgusting.
Oh, S4 mid lane. If they get the kill, Funnick's gonna get a ton of levels as well.
Oh, they got wards here. They can go for a kill. No, Kuroki.
Walking deep.
That was miscommunication.
That was a high level kill to give away. Venomancer hits 4.5 immediately, and now S4, well, he gets himself a little bit more experience.
I mean, it looked like he was just casually feeding, but it was pretty obvious that he thought they were going to fight, and then his 2 tankier heroes just ran, and he was caught in no man's land. So Na'Vi not quite on the same page in that particular engagement, and the lack of communication cost them. And it's where even though they had this great start, they can't get complacent or start trading poorly, because ultimately Alliance do have just the more robust and balanced lineup as we head towards the mid game.
Yeah, again, I feel like Navi almost have to have this big lead to actually have a chance in the mid game.
And I agree.
Yeah, the draft is, to me, again, favors Alliance quite a bit. Lone Druid, though, not farming. Customarily, we see him having a Radiance goal right now. And to be honest,
not Midas goal.
or sorry, yeah, Midas goal. And then
even Bulldog doesn't have Radiance this fast.
and then Radiance like 16 minutes in. It seems like Admiral Bulldog will not get that. So one of the things that K-pop Toasters brought out is that you need to shut down Bulldog. I think this is heavily counted as Bulldog shutdown, as hard as you possibly imagine. Funnick, though, he needs to actually catch up for his team and be a factor.
He's shut down, and Havost is not shut down. Up to 4K net worth. I just want to keep an eye on their net worth over the course of this game. Assuming Bulldog stops dying and does just get a later Midas and a later Radiance, will he be able to accelerate and pull away from that Medusa? And if so, will it be enough of a lead to take them into late game? We'll have to wait and see. But this is where having the Dragon Knight makes a big difference as well. You just have a great hero to lock down a Medusa, to kite her. And although she'll go Lincoln Sphere, there are plenty of other spells to remove that. Well, actually, not that many. But you do have the Gyro Rocket. You do have the Enchantress Slow. It's enough to remove the Lincoln, so you can count on the Dragon Tails.
Okay. Yeah, the Dragon Tail is so spammable that, you know, if the first one gets blocked, you're not out of options here. You're still going to be fairly effective throughout the team fight. I think Navi right now, they're slowing down. They're trying to catch up in terms of farm and experience. And it's daytime anyway, so might as well do catch up on that farm and make sure that your second night, generally the most important night for the Night Stalker to be effective.
So Vost is going to be farming Ancients, but has no points in Split Shot right now. Not really the most efficient way to do it, but they just want to leave him parked bottom, give Dendy the easier farm mid. They're still prioritizing these initiators for now. I imagine after the next nighttime begins, then we'll see if Vost gets the safe lane, but for the time being, he is a ranged hero. He had a good start, and they just want to make sure that they're as explosive as possible on those two key initiators in the mid game.
Yeah, one thing that Alliance do have to be careful about is to not give away more kills. More particularly because they have Shadow Shaman, excuse me, on the team. You give away a kill, you give away a tower, almost guaranteed. So Navi looking for those kills, and well, Admiral Bulldog and the rest of the team got to sidestep.
Bear's gonna come in top. They could maybe go for a Shackle here. Oh, not quite ready to do it yet. But yeah, the Midas is coming soon. It is possible he could skip Midas and go straight Relic, but I very rarely see Bulldog do that.
I mean, I feel like the Midas almost easily pays for itself, simply through the attack speed as well as the level gain and everything else.
Bottom lane, hold that thought. They've caught out Ake here in the jungle, trying to run away, but a hasted Night Stalker running him down. He will fall. Loda, Centaur Stomp. Oh, just a split second late.
Yeah, he probably didn't have sight there. If he did, he would have just stomped a little bit further away and would have actually got the stun off. But in any case, here comes a tower kill, or a hero kill, and here comes a tower kill.
Again, this is why it's so nice to back up the Clockwork Night Stalker with a Shadow Shaman and a Chen support, because you get these kills, and instead of just backing off, you then transition immediately into a tower push.
It also helps that your Shadow Shaman is like level 6, you know, 8 minutes in, and he has arcane boots.
Yeah.
You generally never see a Shadow Shaman this fat, and it came from that bear kill earlier, the actual bear, and then the hero kill afterwards. It was just a ton of gold for them.
And the reason I bring up having these pushing heroes backing up your initiators is important is we've seen like Tongfu WZ as well as Hearts Get Together seem to struggle with their drafting, and this is an example of where they struggle. Yeah. They'll pick these great like hero killers and fighters, but getting kills is just not enough. You need to transition that into tower gold, into map control that comes from it to really take control of the mid game, and that's where you can see Navi, their experience of just understanding how to draft a bit better pays off.
Yeah, and also Chen and Shadow Shaman actually work so well together. Generally, we'll talk about that later as for struts, and perhaps those are not the best wards as
yeah, maybe not the best usage of them, but it will still take the tower down about 600 HP, but it's a lot of gold.
Up a ton of gold, though. That's the issue there.
Yeah, it's not a great usage, but they didn't expect Alliance to have so many heroes bottom.
Yeah, so normally if you drop down the ward, the enemy team could just basically pull the creep wave off the tower, and then the tower just kills the ward very easily. But if you add Chen to that, then the Chen creeps basically tank for your wards, and the wards themselves are the big DPS dealers. So looks like Dendy picks up an Invis Rune, uses it, I think, under the guise of a Observer ward. I'm not sure whether they were paying attention, though. It seems like they know, and they'll back off for now.
And this is where Dendy, his farm may start to slip a bit. He's got the treads up, the urn, but he's only level 8, and he's not going for that semi-carry build. Not that he necessarily needs to, but it means he farms slower, he levels slower, And like you mentioned, Nightstalker a bit of a one-trick pony as far as the carry goes. He may try to dive Loda, but by his lonesome, I don't even think this rocket kill, but they're waiting on the rocket. Now they're going to jump. Out comes the Void, but Loda still at half HP. Silence. Not yet deployed. He'll, I guess, just wants to bait out a TP here.
I count that as a victory. I mean, you just Void and you bait out at the 135, and you just, you know, in fact, he's even farming this lane. Hey, got more than expected.
Yeah, and why not? Alliance now forced to rotate extra heroes bottom to deal with the pressure from the Nightstalker. Their lone druid is parked top. He's the immovable object that just keeps on finding farm. And
But look at Roche.
they are... Okay, they're going to start working on Roche here. They have an Alpha Wolf, they have 2 Centaurs, and they have wards. With the wards, they can do this, but it will take a while.
Yeah, I really don't think Alliance could punish them, though. Like, Alliance may be able to defend their tower, but they're not going to about to walk into this choke point where...
They want to. Parade of Skeleton Archer, or Skeleton Warriors strutting in. The wards have been dropped already. They'll be dealt with. Denny says, they're great. A little extra gold for me, and
Cool stuff.
I don't think Alliance will be contesting this.
Yeah. That means your wards is cooldown for 110 seconds, but hey, you get an Aegis here on your Nightstalker. The smoke gets used as well. I'm not sure what... Again, that's being spotted out by Observer Ward, but they're going to go regardless. Dendy's being split up with the rest of the team because he's moving so fast. He's got to wait.
No, they were still in the pit when they smoked, I believe, so
Okay.
don't think it was spotted out. But
Don't void. Don't void. Just right click, because if you void, Loda's gonna just straight up TP.
Well, now it's too late. In comes the
now
10
you
as well.
now you void for the kill. Yeah. So it's perfect play here by Dendy. Silences first, prevent like call down as well as rocket barrage, and then just right clicks.
While that Roche attempt was going on, Bulldog was farming, but this Radiance, we're looking more like a 20-ish minute Radiance, maybe even 21 to 22 minutes. Unless he starts getting kills or towers, and it seems Na'Vi are not going to give those up for free. Speaking of Na'Vi, they smoke and they just go right in. They're going to find EGM. Dendy does get clipped by a Gale. Unfortunately, that's going to slow down his pursuit. And now an additional slow coming out.
So much slow.
They're just going to kite him.
Look, Aki's just gonna just there you go.
Meanwhile, S4 hasted up, but is trapped here for a bit. He
Shackle-
gets cogged.
Ooh.
Oh, what a play by Funnick.
Yeah, S4 perhaps overestimating survivability, but here comes Loda with a big call down. Dendy tanky, yeah, he's got the Aegis, so he doesn't care. And meanwhile, yeah, he's just tanking all sorts of damage here, allowing his team to do whatever else they need to do. Funnick out of mana at this point here. They're still going to get driven out. Nightstalker gets 1 kill for his Aegis. Perhaps not the best trade because there's only a Venomancer. Meanwhile, Funnick looking for the hook. He's to have it on cooldown, so that's pretty much all they're going to get, but I think they're going to get a tier 1 tower out of this as well.
Yeah, the Shadow Shaman wards are cooling down soon. Or I actually like the idea of going bottom better, because you can get a tier 2 there. The tier 1 mid will be easy
sure. Yeah.
later on, and I don't think Alliance will be in position to contest this. Wards deployed immediately, creeps get zapped down, and Kroki, he's got a creep wave here. This is a dead tower. and
You can't TP into
You
this.
cannot make that TP. Oh boy. If he cogs him in there, that's another kill.
I'm surprised that Kuroki didn't just strut forward and prepare his shackles, because that would have been another kill.
Yeah, he did drop pretty low. Looks like he tanked the tower a bit. But speaking of Kuroki, we may see that Blink Dagger coming out soonish. He's up to 1,700 gold. And if he gets a Blink, you're looking at heroes that really need to get off their spells to survive. EGM needs to hit a nice Gale. Enchantress needs to... Or you could go Necrobook, I guess. But she needs to get off her heal. If they don't, they're just food.
I think the Blink would be really good against like Queen of Pain, Storm, where more to a certain effect that they need to get our spell. But Dragonite is going to be tanky regardless of anything. Lone Druid is still going to be tanky regardless of anything. So it's going to be good against Loda's BKB, which he's working towards to. As we see a Curry kill somewhere. Not sure.
Yeah, because they just died at the secret shop.
Okay.
Not sure what it was doing there.
I actually favor things like Necrobook, that Azure Push, or a Force Staff, just a little bit more utility. Because if you blink in against this team of tanks and then like you shackle one and then you get stunned by Dragonite, things get hairy. So we'll see what he actually opts for.
Yeah, that's a good point. They also do have Clockwork to initiate, so maybe they don't really need the Shadow Shaman to do it, but whatever Kroki wants, he'll have it soon. He's up to 2,300 gold. That's the makings of a Necro 1. And I guess it just comes down to how much pressure did Na'Vi feel to end this game. Keeping an eye on the Lone Druid, up to 2,800 gold. Bulldog getting close to Relic gold, but it's a game where the bear can be ganked. Na'Vi have heroes that can just chase it down. You've got a lot of disable to deal with it, so you can't just like send the bear pushing out a lane with Radiance and expect it will never die. And
it is going to be a blink.
so we'll see the more aggressive support item pickup from
So
Kroki.
one thing that Na'Vi can do is you actually just use your Dusa Lincolns and put it on Shadow Shaman and let him jump in and let him shackle, because what else is going to cancel this Lincoln? There's Enchant and there's Dragon Tail. That's pretty
and
much
homing
it.
missile, but yeah.
Yeah, well, actually, homing missile cancels Lincoln, I believe, on cast. Not even when the missile hits. So that's actually a way to deal with it. But yeah, there's
But it's
so
homing missile.
so little like single target nukes that this Lincoln Surge is gonna be huge for Medusa.
And anyway, they'd have to homing missile him and then dragon tail him. Or what does it matter if his Lincoln's is canceled if you're not actually stunning him?
Yeah. Wait, homing missile cancels on cast, right?
On cast.
Yeah. So
It's like charge.
basically, it's an instant cancel, which is big, I guess. It allows your Dragon Tail to actually be the real stun that lands. So,
Yeah, if he's in range. But if he's not, then it's like, great, you broke his Lincolns.
Yeah.
There's nothing else. Anyway, we haven't seen too much like teammate-oriented usage of Lincolns, to be honest, in pro play. It was a cool little change, and I thought, oh, maybe we'll see more supports getting Lincolns for their carries. But generally speaking, it seems like carries are the ones who can farm the Lincolns, carries are the ones who get them, and they just use it for themselves.
Right, and if you're farming Lincolns, you need it for yourself and not for your support. So this is a very niche case. Perhaps you could put on your roster that he could blink in, but you know.
As for Alliance, they are about to pick up their BKB here on the Gyrocopter. The Lone Druid Relic gets close now. They'll have the Radiance soon. The BKB isn't too far off on S4. And I still favor Alliance.
I do too.
With even, like, I'd say if they're down like 5 to 10k gold, I could see them taking this game. If they're down like 20 to 30, then yeah, then they start to be in a lot of trouble. But
Don't you feel like the pressure has been somewhat let go for Alliance? Alliance has been like farming for the past 5-10 minutes.
yeah, I'm not really sure. What is Na'Vi waiting for? I guess that's the next question. As they've gone for Vanguard on Clockwork. He's now going for what looks to be a Rod of AUI 2000, the Rod of Atos.
Okay.
Interesting Clockwork item.
Not
I guess good versus the Bear. You can just kind of slow it down
sure, I
and pick
suppose.
it off.
I mean, there's also Vanguard on Night Stalker. I guess they're gonna just out tank.
Yeah, they went double Vanguard, and now they're just going like point booster, vitality booster.
I'm not sure I like this. Like,
They're really limiting their late game potential. These heroes are only going to be like tanky frontline like meat shields basically.
well, they're meat shields until you start building cannons on them, right? Like, if the item after this is like a Basher on Night Stalker or an AC, like suddenly then they becomes legitimate tanks that could right click harder. But a Night Stalker getting an Acceptor, I don't know. Like, Acceptor, I don't think it's a.
I actually like the Acceptor upgrade a lot.
It's a 4K item that helps you tank further, but I think really Night Stalker's issue moving into the mid game is really damage output. Like, he's already very tanky with the Vanguard and an Urn on top and Strength Threats. Does he really need Acceptor to tank even further?
Well, it's not to tank. This is for the map control. So he'll get the Ags, and then he'll have a gem on his side, which Puppy's already purchased. And then you just deward everything. So Alliance, the only thing they can leave the base is the Lone Druid Bear to farm with Radiant Split Push. Yeah, so I don't think this particular item is for tanking. It's just for map control.
Okay.
And because remember, when the Ags upgrade for Night Stalker, you get that
Yeah,
huge clear vision around you.
I just think that if you just kill them, you get better map control because they're afraid to leave. But okay,
That's
I mean,
true.
this is we haven't seen this for a long time, so that's why I'm a little bit
It
dubious.
used to be like that go-to item for Night Stalker players.
Yeah.
I know Cinderin had that very creative Yule Scepter
I
Night
love that,
Stalker,
yeah.
which was really fun, but
Yeah.
most players would go either BKB or just straight Ags and get a gem and just look to win via pure map control.
The problem I have with Na'Vi right now isn't their item choice. Again, Rod of Atos is very suspect on the Clockwork as well, instead of an Access on him. My question is, what is Na'Vi doing? They're not pushing towers. They're not killing heroes. They're not like taking Roshan because obviously he's dead. They're just allowing Alliance to make that comeback. Here comes the Radiance. And I guess they just feel like they can't make the game because these heroes are getting very, very tanky.
They are out farming Na'Vi or Alliance. The gold graph just keeps on going down, even though there hasn't been a kill. But I guess the real question is it going down? Like, is a steep enough rate of decrease?
Also, is gold more useful Clock, Night Stalker, Dusa, or on the true 3 semi and even core carries of Alliance?
If it goes 20 minutes, I'll say no. I would say for the next 10 to 15 minutes, it could be more useful now.
Yeah.
And of course, it's always useful on the Dusa, but, you know, she's not going to go BKB. You can just Dragon Tail her and largely ignore her in these fights, potentially. So, we will see. I still think it's a game that will come down to execution. And, well, that Rod of AUI not getting the love it deserves, Lumi. This is only the second one ever built on Clockwork.
Good. Let's keep it that way.
I think it's kind of a cute way to try and deal with the Bear, but yeah, I mean, you're giving up one of the best Ags upgrades in the game to go for that in the form of an Aghanim Scepter on Clockwork.
Yeah, I feel like this is Puppy has his like fingerprints all over the item choices of Na'Vi. One thing he loves to do is build tank. And look at the entire team. I'm pressing F5 to see everything. We have
Every hero's a tank.
a mech, a point booster, a Lincoln's, a Manta coming soon, Acceptor, Vanguard, and then Kuroki's the only person with a blink. And then Funnick, you have a Rod of Atos, another Acceptor, eventually on
Oh,
Vanguard.
shot to fly. It's going to catch out S4, and he's trapped on the wrong side of the cause, but he says, this is the right side for me, baby. I'm going to pop my BKB
Send
and go
back.
to work. Now Funnick sent back home. They force out 2 BKBs, and now the Dusa ult gets deployed.
Oh, time to turn.
Alliance, they underestimated the power of that Dusa ult. Now out come the Shadow Shaman wards. In goes the Shackle on the Loda. The BKB's over. Navi taking a fantastic little engagement for them. The Bear's gonna die. They may well lose more here. Dendy's slow, but I don't think he'll be slow forever. The chase continues. Ake about to drop. That's 3 bodies hitting the deck.
Funnick's back.
And they might lose the Bear here as well. The Rod of Atos cooling down.
Oh, what a war block.
Crucial war block, but it comes at the cost of EGM's life.
Where's that Rod of Atos?
No, maybe not.
No, what a juke. EGM's a player. He makes it out alive. Saves himself as well as the carry, but the damage that's done. And I gotta say, the Blink Dagger that Kuroki purchased, perfectly used there.
Radiant's
Blinked in,
middle tower
War
is
Trap
under
one
attack.
hero, Hexed one, and then Shackle another. Sure, yeah, he died, but the damage has already been done. And also, Chen, the 2 send back there meant that nobody on Navi actually died, aside from Kuroki.
Diving
Big plays.
EGM, Dendy's going deep for this one. No, he'll retreat out. And the funny thing is, we talked about how good the Radiance Bear is. If it's like a 16, 17-minute Radiance, this is a 24-minute Radiance when you're losing. I mean, he had it a bit sooner, but that was the first fight with it. And it just did nothing. Like, they just tanked through it. The Hand of God mech turned it around. It really shows you how important hitting your timings is on a hero like Lone Druid.
Yeah, and also, I mean, 50 damage per second. Oh, the Bear gets trapped here, and then someone get trapped as well.
Everyone's trapped. Now come your call down. They're going to focus the both.
Out of
He's got
mana.
no ultimate. 3 seconds until he would have it, but yeah, no mana. He's going to go down. 700 gold lost there. That is a huge loss.
My question is, why do you need to take that fight? You just want a big one. Everybody was out of mana or HP or cooldown.
Because you're Navi. That's why.
Well,
And they just love to fight. They do.
I mean, that's a 700 gold kill that you talked about. That's a tier 1 tower, possibly. This could be an avenue of a comeback here for Alliance. And again, Alliance isn't... Again, they're down by 10k gold, but I feel like their heroes use gold so much better than Navi's.
When they get it. I mean, still there's like 0 actual mid to late game items. Just the BKBs.
Yeah, just BKBs.
That's it. There's no Aghanims on Ake. There's no damage items on Gyro or the Dragon Knight. I still think they have their work cut out for him here.
They
but
do.
yeah,
It's
winning
up to
fights
par.
like that can turn this game around. Maybe it's the start of a comeback.
Just keep out the hook, Dendy.
Look at that route of AUI. Combined with the
okay.
Void, he's not moving anywhere.
All right.
S4 says, it's okay. I got BKB. I got this, fellas. They'll
So-
take the tower.
Dire's bottom tower
And he'll keep on pushing.
That's
but-
a concern. That's a tier 1 down, and they're not stopping
Look,
here.
it's gonna fly. He's caught up the Bear. Oh, Funnick, that's not what he wanted. Now the Bear gets trapped in with him, and out comes the Deuce ult. Everybody on Alliance must flee. They've ward trapped Loda, but he will be able to make his way out of there, phasing out of the ward trap. And
Navi needs to back. These wards are doing a number on the team, and look at that. It's going to be a first aid tango. Hobo's going to Manta out of there. Still got the spell shield, but out of mana. Meanwhile, Denny dropping low. Despite the Vanguard, everything else, they do have the global here, but here comes Funnick after being sent back. He's working on S4. There's a global hero coming in. S4 getting blown up.
Loda's sticking around. He wants to fight this out. The Radiance Bear has been taking everyone down for like a full minute and
With
a
the
half.
wards, too. The wards is just like...
That's so much AoE damage.
I mean, you know, earlier I say, hey, how do you beat this tanky lineup? Do you just outburst him down? Puppy says, no. We just out-tank him.
Yeah. And Alliance is saying we just wear you down with nothing but a Radiance and Venomancer.
But I guess so far Navi is working, but you gotta keep in mind the strength of things like Vanguard and like a Lincoln's. They don't carry you that well to the late game. Radiance and like Wards, to me, they still get, you know, increasingly more powerful because that means Lone Druid's gonna get tankier. Thus Radiance is gonna be there longer and longer.
My biggest concern for Alliance right now, or for Navi right now, I should say, is that they can't really guarantee a Stone Gaze, because what we saw in that fight was literally the exact role reversal of the earlier fight. In the fight that happened here, or sorry, I think it happened like over here near the Roche Pit, they used both of their BKBs on Gyro and Dragon Knight, and then they tried to fight after those BKBs were off, and they lost that fight. In this fight, Navi popped the Naga ult, or sorry, the Deuce ult, and it didn't do much, and then as soon as it ended, Alliance said, all right, we're coming back in and we're killing you.
We're coming back in with the BKBs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Alliance learned their lessons to not get Stone Gazed by Hobos, because That is not a fight that you could win. But it seems like they're going to give up Aegis. And I think with Medusa getting Aegis here, I think they could kill her both once, not twice. And definitely not through Sandbag, Hand of God, and then that.
Yeah, he's got so much just support on his side. And after this Roche kill, he'll have Aegis, he'll have Eagle Song as well. He'll be getting close to a Butterfly. That's the point where your Medusa starts to really apply a lot of hurt. She hits hard, she hits fast, and she's hard to bring down. Alliance, a decent amount of magical damage, but actually quite a decent amount. But as the game goes later, they'll be relying more on that physical damage, and that's where your evasion is going to be useful for a long time. Gyro's not going to get a BKB for another 10 minutes. Same for your MKB, sorry, and same for your Lone Druid.
Yeah, Lone Druid is working on an AC though. And AC is a good way to increase your physical damage for your entire team. So I don't think, again, if you call me right now and ask me who I think is going to win the game, I say it's maybe 60-40 Na'Vi. Na'Vi enjoying a huge lead, but I see Alliance making a comeback if they could have a couple of advantageous fights. Sure, they just lost Aegis, and that's going to be somewhat difficult. Clockwork Coco flying into the base. They're going to get EGM. EGM drops his ultimate before dying. The high ground's breach right now, and Alliance in some deep trouble. Ward's going to get dropped down as well.
They're going to start to work on the tier 3. Can Na'Vi take their first lane of racks of the game while this is happening? Bulldog, he's doing the split push thing, but it's not quite as fast as his Prophet would be. He's just now taking the tier 2.
Link
they
Hex
are breaking the base. The Hex comes out in S4. He gets cogged in. Trapped up. Now the Dusa ult coming. They can't really get out. Loda gets turned into stone form. The cooldown will be deployed now. The Dusa ult's down. The Boast out of mana, but he's still got the Aegis here. Centaur Stomp coming through. They kill off the bear. Is there a resummon available? There is, but Bulldog unsure if he wants to use it. Now he'll pop it. He sends it back in. He needs a root here. He needs something. Centaur stolen in the midst of this fight. Parades back out the other way.
Oh, Kuroki, I think he's going to just straight up die to the Radiance.
Yeah. They'll get Kuroki here, but they got a tier 3.
Oh, Smoke! What a play! Smoke out of here!
You can still get this kill.
Oh no, Mocha just canceled the smoke. Gem's gonna get dropped. Do they know? I don't think he knows. Okay, he does.
Ake was watching.
Okay.
I don't think Bulldog necessarily saw that, but either way, 30 minutes in, Alliance do give up a tier 3, and I think they bought back on somebody. Yeah, they bought back on the Dragon Knight, so it wasn't a great fight, but they do hold.
They do hold, and they're going to get a tier 2 for their effort, so
can't count them out of this game just yet, Lumi.
Yeah, I think this game is a lot closer than the goal graph would suggest.
It goes back to what we talked about, just Alliance having 5 heroes that really synergize well as a unit. Na'Vi having lots of heroes that are good individually and making fantastic individual plays, but the synergy between like a Night Stalker, Clockwork, and Medusa is just really lacking, to be totally honest.
Yeah, I wouldn't use those heroes and synergy in the same sentence.
Yeah, it's an affront to the definition of synergy. Anyone who's familiar with it will be offended. But I guess the Clockwork cogs do work well with Dusa ult, but that's really about it.
Yeah, but Dusa does just pick up a butterfly, and you saw how much damage she was doing. The tier 3 went down very quickly. I think Navi's going to just run it back. They're going to have wards once again, and this time there's no glyph. This time the Raxes are fully exposed.
And this time there's no buyback on Dragon Knight. And the worst part is that S4, because he bought back, is not progressing his item. And you'd love to at least get some sort of initiation or just tank item at this point. Be it a Heaven's Halberd for the Medusa, be it potentially something like a Shadow Blade to find pickoffs, but he ain't farming that right now. Yeah. And without having any sort of initiation to speak of, they are kind of relegated to sitting in their base and letting the bear split push.
Night Stalker sells his earn and up to 3,700 gold. Is he going for another tanky item like a Reaver? Or is a Basher coming out? Maybe a Vlad. So Vlad's for the team is not bad in terms of, if they want to go down the tanky path. Oh, this is a double damage on Dusa. Struts up, finds one. Has like about 20 seconds left or 10 seconds left.
He does not have Aegis. It actually was the Night Stalker who picked it up, interestingly enough. But
I really think she should have been Medusa.
Yeah. I think I even said in the last team fight that she still has Aegis, but might have misspoke if that was the case. Either way, Navi's going to start another slow and steady siege.
They can't go up the hill.
And if Dusa dies here, there's no buyback. Out comes
the bear.
The bear. They're just going to try and focus it down, and I think it's going to drop here. Yes, it does. The most. Now popping the Stone Gaze. These auto attacks are going to hurt. S4 dead. No buyback available on him, and they're marching forward. They want some additional kills. They'll look for Ake here. The split shot splashing through. This bear, if it dies a second time, there's no bear resummon. It's going to die.
Oh,
Navi are doing it. They're breaking the backbone of Alliance. They're going to take them down again. It looks like this lane of Rack's about to fall. They're getting some sweet revenge here. Well, it doesn't make up for TI3, Lumi, but it's a start. They've brought down quite a few. Alliance not ready to give it up just yet, but Bulldog driven back to the well. They're going to lose their first lane of Rax. The chances for comeback are still there, but very slim after losing that
Yeah,
fight.
this is not a 60-40 anymore. Maybe like a 90-10. It's looking quite bad. Navi's looking for more. They're saying, hey, man, we got 24 more seconds till S4 comes back, and let's just hurt the tower quite a bit. That's what they're doing right now.
Navi, they took game 1, then Alliance struck back, took games 2 and 3. It went to a game 4, and game 4 was comfortably in Navi's favor. Nobody, we actually liked Alliance's draft better, but Navi, I think this just comes down to execution.
Played a lot better. I mean, again, minute 8 or minute 7, Kuroki level 6, level 7, with arcane boots being finished.
Level 7 off lane, dual lane, Venom, or Shadow
Support
Shaman.
Shadow Shaman.
Yeah, what?
And, you know, I take back
Ridiculous.
what I said about the Blink Dagger perhaps not being the better item. He just went to work this game. Blink in, Hex what he needs to Hex, Shackle what he needs to Shackle. I think Shadow Shaman is the breakout MVP for me this game.
And he really fits, he suits this style that they've developed, which is get these aggressive frontline divers and then back it up with some strong push. So I like what Navi's showing us. It kind of reminds you of that DTS 2010 style play where, you know, they get a kill and then they take a tower after it. Same to how Navi played at TI1 and TI2. They're now looking to break a second lane of racks, and they do it. This is the big one. If they get this, this should be game.
They definitely can. They could slow it down. They don't have to force anything. They have Accept. They're coming from Chen. So you're essentially working with infinite healing should that Chen have enough on it. But right now, there's
If Alliance don't kill 3 or 4 heroes with their BKBs, they can't.
they're not going to kill anything.
Because everyone will just slowly siege with Hand of God coming through.
Look at that. Then he's got a Lincolns on him. Yeah, that's the first time we've seen it. But I don't think it's not going to be too effective.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it before in pub games and in my own experiences, but not in a pro game before. So, interesting little usage of it. And Havos just says, you know what? They can't touch me. Up to 6.2k gold. Navi, if they win this, they would be 2-1 up on Alliance in Grand Finals. Of course, not having won the big one, TI3, but having won Star Ladder as well as WePlay. Here comes your hook shot from downtown. It's Funnick. He's isolated. Loda, who gets stone gates, and now the auto attacks just melt Loda down, taking the bonus physical damage. He'll fall. S4 standing strong for now, but Puppy, Hand of God #1's there. He'll have another one in 40 seconds. He may even buy back if his team really needs him. It's all about Havos. Just keeps on going to work. Triple kill for Dendi. The big damage is
the
from
bear
the
died a
Medusa.
second time after the resummon. Aki's going to go down. GG comes out from S4. And Navi is your WePlay Dota 2 champions.
What a tour de force. What the resilience on this team. It looked like Alliance were just going to 3-1 them after that second and third game. But Navi, they show a stiff backbone and they bounce back in style.
Maybe it's a 70% MOG that Navi's going to take it and not Alliance.
It's an online tournament, so we can't read too much into the results.
You're saying Navi's going to play worse on LAN? I don't know.
No, but, you know, at the same time, also to be fair to Navi, it was very late there. I think it was like 2 a.m. or something, so great win from them. This concludes WePlay Season 2, and it does so in style. I believe our prize distribution is 13,000 to first place, so that will go to Navi. As for Alliance, they take home 6,000, and they should still be pretty happy about that.
Yep.
What a great game, guys. Thank you all for joining us. We'll probably come back with some post-game wrap-up and analysis, but for now, that does conclude the WePlay Dota 2 Season 2 League. Most likely going to be doing future events. If you want to support WePlay, again, be sure to follow them on social media, facebook.com/WePlayDota2, twitter.com/WePlayDota2. If you enjoyed our coverage, if you want to support Beyond the Summit, you can follow myself, twitter.com/LDDota, Lumi, twitter.com/LuminousInverse, as well as our guests who helped add some production value and just knowledge bombs to the cast. That's Kpoptosis, twitter.com/Kpoptosis, as well as Bulba, twitter.com/LiquidBulba. Most importantly, show your love to Logitech, Western Digital, as well as Inno3D. With that being said, guys, that does conclude this season of WePlay. We hope you enjoyed it. If you have feedback, let us know. We hope to see you again in future seasons. For now, it's LD, Lumi, and the rest of Beyond the Summit, signing off.